It's just the way it goes, I guess.
Well, you said there were a couple of drinks that were official. It has to be ingredient A, B, C, and D. What are those?
That would be the Painkiller and the Dark and Stormy. Reason for that is because distillers like to make money. And so those two drinks you may not even be familiar with those drinks. They're both very delicious.
Mm-hmm. The dark, I've heard of them both, and I think you had told the story to me off the air, of course, about the Dark and Stormy. But tell it again. It's a good story.
Sure. So the Dark and Stormy is a drink from Barbados. And so the reason why it's from Barbados is because they make it with Gosling's Black Seal rum.
Is that an English style?
That would be English style. Yeah, but it's a little different. It's actually, when I said that, rums typically, so rums from a technical standpoint aren't best described as dark or light. That's not a bad way to really distinguish them, like at the store or something.
Mm-hmm.
But there is actually, no real difference, because you can filter color out of rum or anything, really.
How?
Charcoal. You just,
okay.
Just kind of like how they do like bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
Or I guess that'd be Tennessee whiskey. But black rum is actually distinguished from other types of rum. Black rum is, it's very, very dark. And what really makes it different is it's very sweet. There's a little sugar added to it in the end that makes it a lot sweeter than Barbados, or I'm sorry, from Bacardi, or this rum we're having here, Hamilton Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot sweeter than that. And so basically you take that and you mix it with ginger beer, and then you add a little bit of lime juice to it. You stir it. And I guess the name Dark and Stormy comes from the color of it. It looks like you're kind of looking at the ocean, and a dark and stormy cloud is coming in, and you're sipping on a drink, and you're just watching the storm roll in.
Okay.
And so they drink that, they have like sailing events in Bermuda. Did I say Barbados earlier? It's in Bermuda.
Okay. Which is also English, by the way.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And then there's the Painkiller. The Painkiller is, it's from the British Virgin Islands. One bar in it called the Soggy Dollar Bar.
Okay.
The reason for that name is, it's a bar that is on an island in the British Virgin Islands that does not have a marina anywhere on the island. So to get there, you actually have to come in via boat, drop anchor, and swim ashore.
And your bottom is soggy.
Well,
because you're wet.
So all the money that you spend is wet, and so that would be called the Soggy Dollar Bar.
Ah, got it. Okay.
And so it's a combination of it's similar to a pina colada, and so they use cream of coconut, pineapple juice, orange juice, and then Pusser's rum. I've never had Pusser's rum. I hear it has a similar characteristic to something like a Bacardi, but I've never had it before, so I might be wrong. But Pusser's and Gosling's trademarked those drinks. And so in order for you to actually make a Dark and Stormy, you have to use Gosling's. In order to make a Painkiller, you must use Pusser's.
So they've trademarked the drink?
Exactly.
Okay.
But you could get around that so easily. Just call it something else.
Our take on the Dark and Stormy.
Something like that, sure. And I'm sure a lot of places do that, especially Pusser's you're not going to find that at every bar. Gosling's is pretty common. It's the one with the seal on it with a barrel balanced on his nose or something like that.
I've seen that.
And they're both delicious. I like to have a Painkiller like with brunch. It's very sweet, very refreshing. And Dark and Stormy, I'll just kind of have sitting around watching television in the evening.
You're doing all the talking, and this drink is very good. Mine's about done. Yours is not nearly done, but this is a wonderful drink. And like I said, I'd taken a picture of it, but those who don't see it on my Facebook page, there's a ton of mint on this thing. And when you sip this thing, especially as you get into it and you have to tip it a bit more to get the drink out of the glass, your nose is kind of enveloped in the mint, which helps the taste.
Well, and that's the idea of a garnish on most drinks. It's to enhance the experience. Mint is a very oily leaf. And so if you shove your nose into it, you're going to smell it. Mm-hmm. You know, your olfactory response versus your tasting work with each other really well. And so you're more than tasting, you know, your normal flavors like sweet, sour, bitter, and of course salt. You're then smelling the mint, and it gives it a different characteristic, similar to putting like an orange peel in an old fashioned.
Okay,
it's the same thing.
Okay, I get it. When I make mint drinks, mainly in fact, I grow mint in the backyard for the summertime, mainly to make mojitos.
Oh yeah,
and I'll just smack it in between my hands, and then throw it in the drink. It kind of releases the aroma. So
yep.
when you're sipping that thing and your nose gets close to that mint, it really helps out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a good drink. Thank you so much for making it. I appreciate it. Is this your favorite drink, or do you have a list of favorite drinks?
I typically don't. If somebody asks me what is my favorite drink and they put a gun to my head and said, I will pull the trigger if you do not answer this question, I would say my favorite drink is a daiquiri.
Okay.
However, it depends on how I feel. It depends on the weather outside. It depends on where I am.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what's available. But I wouldn't call a MaiTai my favorite rum drink, but it's up there, and I make them at home. Mm-hmm. You know, when the mood strikes.
But a daiquiri is your favorite rum drink, maybe your favorite drink, period.
Yes.
And how do you make a daiquiri? Is there a set way to make a daiquiri, or is a daiquiri something that, I know you can make it frozen or not, right?
Well, a daiquiri would be like the MaiTai, where people found out that drink exists, and then they decided to put their own spin on it. And so typically when people think of daiquiri, it would be a high proof rum in a Slurpee machine and drank really fast in New Orleans, and it turns your mouth blue. Those are delicious, and they have their place, but a daiquiri is actually a very simple drink to make. You use typically a lighter flavored rum. I like Bacardi, but you could use a plantation, Plantation 3-Star, some unaged, light flavored rum, lime, and simple syrup. Shake it together. You can serve it up. You can serve it on the rocks. You can pour a little club soda in there to lengthen it. But it basically tastes like lemonade. And so sitting on the deck on a 100-degree St. Louis July day, you can't beat that.
That kind of sounds like the rum version of one of my favorite drinks, the gimlet.
Oh yeah,
except a gimlet is lime juice, Rose's lime, which is sweetened lime juice, and gin.
Yep.
So a daiquiri is not necessarily frozen. That's just what you see.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, honestly. A frozen daiquiri is delicious, but they don't have to be. No, you can just serve them on the rocks. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, simple syrup, you can make your own. For if you have sugar and you have water and you have a pan and you have a stove, you can make your own simple syrup. Simple syrup is just sugar water. Mm-hmm. You can also buy it at the store. It's not expensive. You can buy it at Deerberg's for $3. Limes, they've got limes at the store, and Bacardi, everybody's got a bottle of Bacardi at home. Mm-hmm. And shake them together and you pour it in a glass. That's it.
Your favorite tequila drink?
Oh, margarita. Instacall.
Yeah. Margaritas are, I will tell you, as many drinks as I like, a margarita, you can never go wrong with a margarita. I can't tell you how many times it's happy hour on the weekend, and the trophy wife and I are going to have a cocktail, okay? And I think, let's see, do I want a Negroni? Do I want a Manhattan? Do I want a gimlet? Do I want just a gin and tonic? What do I want? And she says, make me a margarita. Well, I make her drink. I think, I don't want anything but this. Because to me, tequila, the right tequila, blue agave tequila, has a very unique aroma to it that other liquors really don't have. And it just smells, I'm not going to say sweet, it's just unique. And it just makes for a wonderful drink. It's sweet, it's sour, it's fruity, it's got some punch to it. A margarita is a wonderful drink.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I find that the most important part of a margarita that gets overlooked is which orange liqueur you're going to use.
And that was going to be my next question, but carry on, because I've got a story about that too. But I want to hear yours first.
So when you make a margarita, in my opinion, you probably shouldn't use Jose Cuervo. I don't even think they call it tequila anymore. It's a tequila-ish liqueur, basically. It's
right.
It's not good, people. Don't drink it. It's just a good way to give yourself a hangover and make yourself sick.
Well, actually, it doesn't legally for a drink doesn't have to be from Jalisco.
Right, yeah.
In Mexico.
Tequila.
Yeah, exactly. Like champagne has to be from the Champagne province.
Right. And I think Cuervo, it's made there, but it's not 100% agave. Agave being the fruit juice that is distilled to make tequila or mezcal.
What I heard is that to call it tequila, it's got to be 51% minimum or something. And Jose Cuervo does the minimum.
Yeah.
Then the rest of it is other.
Right.
Yeah.
But even you don't have to get an expensive there's expensive tequila out there and there's cheap tequila. You know, you can get Cabo Wabo for $40 or you can get 1800 for $20, which isn't free, but it's not that much. You just get an unaged 1800 tequila. But I found that the modifier of the orange liqueur is just really important. My wife prefers triple sec.
The
Hiram Walker, that's it.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Hiram, is that it?
Hiram Walker.
Yeah,
that's what I use.
Yeah, so she prefers that. It has a sweeter flavor profile. I prefer Pierre Ferrand Orange Curacao, which is a little drier, I guess, a little more bitter, I guess is a good way of putting it. They use a lot more orange peel. And so an orange liqueur it's basically more or less Everclear mixed, and you pour a bunch of orange peels in this case into it, other spices, and you let it sit. And it sits and sits and sits, pulls all that essence out of the orange peels and whatever. And then it comes out as a liqueur. Well, and then you have to water it down. You have to dilute it. And so everyone is a little different. I prefer Pierre Ferrand, which it's from France. It's not inexpensive. It's $30, $40 for a bottle of it, which is kind of a lot, but you only use half an ounce to an ounce at a time. And so a bottle of that will last you a long time.
I used to buy Cointreau and for my tequilas, and it was about $30 for a 375. If I were to when I go to Canada, I'd come out of Canada, I'd get something duty free. I'd get a 750 for about $28 if I was coming out of Canada. And they were great. But then one time I ran out. I wasn't going to Canada, so I have to go to the store to buy it. I thought it was like $40 for a 750. It was expensive, maybe more than that. And the next day I saw Hiram Walker's triple sec. I thought, I've heard about this stuff. And it was $6 for a liter. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try this. I may shoot myself in the foot with this, but I'm going to try it. And I made margaritas, and I'm here to tell you, I couldn't tell the difference. I really couldn't. And if anything, maybe it was better because it was a bit sweeter. Okay.
You didn't feel so badly about it.
I didn't feel bad at all. I've never bought Cointreau again. And to me, a margarita it's a wonderful drink. It's a basic drink. It's the chocolate chip cookie of mixed drinks. Yeah. Okay. Now, do we talk about which side of Ghana the cocoa bean came from when we eat chocolate chip cookies? No, they're chocolate chip cookies. I'm that way with a margarita. Okay.
Yep.
And if you can find less expensive ingredients, and they taste just as good, I'm fine with it. I use nothing but 100% blue agave tequila, but I buy the 175 from Costco for $20. Okay. But it's 100% blue agave, and I think it's good stuff. Okay. Before that, I used to buy, we called it the Jimador. Jimador tequila, which is the number one tequila in Mexico. So, 60 million Mexicans can't all be wrong, right? But to buy, some reposado something or another that's $80 a bottle,